Hey y'all, Brendan Prout from worshipteamcoach.com. Couple of thoughts on recording ourselves in our worship as part of our preparation. As John has discussed many times, it frees us up. It frees us up to concentrate less on what we're doing and concentrate on gelling more with our teams, and most of all, on focusing on worshiping the Lord. It frees us up to worship. So part of preparation can include recording what we're doing. This can be during our actual worship services, or it can be during our midweek rehearsals. Recording's a super powerful tool. Here are some reasons why. When you are in the moment, you're playing the song, you're concentrating on exercising your craft and doing it to the best of your ability, but you're not necessarily hearing exactly what you're doing, especially if you're singing. If you're singing, you might be a little off pitch and you might not notice. But if you listen back to a recording, you're going to be able to review and critique exactly what's going on. So here are a few thoughts. If you have the ability to record in multi-track, I highly recommend it, because this gives you the ability to strip away unneeded elements. If you are an electric guitarist, you can strip away all the other elements, keyboards, drums, bass, and hear just what you were doing. But you can also add in the elements such that you can hear whether or not you are gelling with the band. Are you grooving together? Are you on the same page with what the melody and the rhythm and the harmony is actually doing? Is the part that you're playing actually fitting with what's going on with the rest of the team? By recording and reviewing, you can figure some of this stuff out. Now, if you're a worship leader or worship pastor, the ability to record in multi-track is super helpful because you get to review what is every member of your team doing. What are you doing? Is what you're doing coming off the way that you really hope that it's doing, or is it falling short? And if it is, where can we make necessary adjustments? So reviewing and critiquing so that we can improve, not so that we can tear down and say, boy, something was not sounding right this week. Oh, it was that bass player. He was playing quarter notes with a shuffle instead of playing the eighth notes in this part. Well, yeah, it might be a useful tool to be able to play back to that person and say, hey, here's what you were doing. And then you can have the dialogue of, what would you think about playing the eighth notes? I definitely encourage dialogue rather than dictation. Can we agree on that? I get an amen from you. The other reason that we can record and find that recording our worship as a team is super helpful is for sharing and encouragement. Now, I'm not talking about going and cutting your band's worship CD or your church putting out this music all over the place without the proper permissions and licensing. That's not what I'm saying. However, there is great strength in recording something and being able to share it within your team with proper licensing and being able to say, hey, listen to what we did. That was pretty good. Cool. Let's keep doing that. There's great strength and encouragement. And so as we record our sessions, if you don't have the ability to record it in multi-track, you can even record with your iPhone or whatever your digital device is. Very simple voice recorders, digital recorders. They're inexpensive. There are a lot of free apps that are available on your smartphone that would give you the opportunity to record. If you have in-ear monitors, by inserting a simple Y adapter, instead of just sending it to your ears, you can be sending it to your device and recording direct onto that. And that gives you the opportunity to at least get one mix. And of course, you can record right off of the board as well. If you have a digital board, you can often plug in a computer with USB and record into GarageBand or Ableton or Reason or Logic or Pro Tools if you've get those resources available. You can record the multi-tracks into those, or like I said, you can just record the bare tracks of what's happening on your board. Now that's speaking as a whole team. The other thing is, as a worship leader, you want to be able to be on the same page with whoever's running sound. So listening to what is actually coming out of the board, being able to review that and have the conversation later. Say, hey, I noticed that during this part, You were doing a great job of pushing this one instrument that had a solo. Man, you were spot on, and I'm really encouraged that you were listening and that you brought that out. And on the same track, if you notice that they're not bringing out a signature instrument in the part, you can ask, hey, I noticed that this instrument had a solo and it didn't seem like it was very prominent in the mix. Can you tell me about why that was? Well, maybe it was a guitar that had an amp on the stage and it was already sufficiently loud and boosted in the house that they didn't need to boost it in the main mix. Or maybe they just missed that moment. Maybe they weren't thinking about it. Maybe they were mixing a vocal and they were trying to hone that in, and so they missed the instrumental part. There are a lot of things we don't want to make assumptions about. So have the conversations based on the recordings and ask the necessary questions so that you all have the goal of getting on the same page and gelling and having the Lord draw our hearts together as we serve Him with our different gifts. One body, many parts. God bless you all, and I hope this has been helpful for you. See ya.